time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure, so let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Scent Vapor Hunting Scents,
Killer Food Plot Seeds, Supplements, and Attractants,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Antler Action,
Family Tradition Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. Fat and stuffed.
That's right, we are
Turkey
fat stuff. It's the end of Thanksgiving weekend.
It is, absolutely.
And you know what? This weather is incredible.
It's different, man. What was the temperature today?
Today, I think it was in the high 40s. I don't know if it made it to 50. It might have. I wasn't outside much, but...
I was somewhere the other day, and it was 62 degrees.
Really?
Yeah, 62. I don't remember what day it was and where I was at, but it was here in Michigan, I can tell you that. So, but have a good Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. There is nothing better than a home Thanksgiving, family around, and just a nice, simple dinner. We had to have it a little earlier than normal because my youngest daughter had to go work.
Okay.
She gets the luxury of working retail right now and enjoying the Thursday night 5 o'clock
right
grand opening blitz.
Oh, the pre-Black Friday sale that starts 6 hours before midnight.
Right, exactly. So that was funny because actually it turned out it wasn't so bad. It was kind of a little crazy, but she said it wasn't too bad. And she said most of the people were going after she works at Kohl's. We're going after the hardline stuff, luggage, appliance, little stuff like that.
Okay.
So they were kind of running right by her department on their way to there.
Did you partake in any of the Black Friday sales?
Not really. We went out. I did go out on Friday to do a little grocery shopping, pick up a few odds and ends. But when I went, the stores were empty. It was
really
awesome. It was at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Kelly and I went out, and we looked through the papers previously, and it was...
the usual stuff.
I didn't see nothing on there that was like a gotta have moment.
Got to kill somebody for it.
Right.
Break somebody's neck so you can reach over and take it out of their cart type stuff. I know Cabela's had some good sales, it looked like. I just didn't get... You know what we did? That Friday morning, we all got up here. And me and the kid... Jacob was home from college. So Jake and Mikey's girlfriend and I, we got up. We had breakfast, we took off, and we went to Frankenmuth. And we went and played disc golf.
Yes, you did. And you did a little video.
Yeah, I did a little video from out there.
Could you explain to me how you get a disc up in a tree?
Have you ever seen me throw?
No.
Okay, well, that would explain it.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how people that what they call hack golfers?
Right?
That, can't hit a ball straight? Well, that's me.
You're a hack discer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, Mikey, he's pretty good at it, and he's trying to teach me the proper throwing technique, and right now...
Are you hurting?
I'm sore, man.
Man.
18 holes of throwing a Frisbee about 150 times,
Right, exactly. It'll wear on you. They're different weighted discs.
Yep.
So they're not
different
the
profiles.
lightest.
Yeah, different profiles, different weights, different flexibility in them. I mean, we're an outdoor show, but this is an outdoor sport. It's not hunting per se, but you know what? If you like getting out and walking and hiking and seeing nature, it's a great way to spend a day.
You were hunting first of all, you were hunting your disc.
Yeah, I was hunting my discs. That's true.
But you know what? Something did come about that actually Mikey posted, and it kind of made me shake my head. Mm-hmm. It was the things that was improprieties that were written on that.
Oh, on the course that he went to yesterday.
Yeah, on the course that he went to, it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's the new course in Flint that they just opened with Kettering University.
And why do people got to do that with graffiti and just mouthing off? Really?
I mean, we like to brag on our kids, obviously, but I mean, Michael, he's 23-year-old. He's a 23-year-old guy, that gets out there and does what he does. And him and I don't always see eye to eye and stuff, but I got to say, I'm proud of the kid because he appreciates nature. He appreciates hard work and the things that other people do to make things enjoyable for other people.
Right, exactly. And that's what he did. That's what him and a group of his...
They worked on this park.
Worked on a park up in Flint. And here somebody writes that on
some of the benches and some of the hardware up there.
Right.
It's
shaking my head.
Yeah, they've had some problems out here in Holly the same way at the Holly Rec area.
Did they really?
State land, yeah. It's just people mess stuff up.
And that's ruining the outdoors.
Yeah. It's just like when you go to a state park and you see the signs, the hunting signs shot
Yeah.
or tore down, or maybe a porta potty that's been destroyed inside. And I don't mean by somebody using the facility.
No.
I mean
by somebody kicking off the toilet holder or kicking off the toilet seat or
the doors.
Right. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Somebody took the time and labor to make that and put it there for us.
And we pay for that stuff.
Okay, you beat me to the second point. But
we pay for it.
Exactly. But I do have an update from our camp.
Okay.
I found out the Saturday I left, which was last Saturday. Richard, one of my cousins, he took a 7-point. So now we've got a 6-point, 2 8-points, and a 7-point down for the year. And I think 2 other guys were coming back either yesterday or today, and I haven't heard if 3 others were coming back yesterday or today. I haven't heard if they got anything.
So when's the last time you guys took that many
It's been a
bucks
while.
at camp?
It's been a while. It's you know what? It's been 4 years.
Okay.
Because I think 4 years ago I took 2 and my cousin took 2. Yeah, it's been 4 years, I think.
And Kelly, she took one?
She took one this year, so we took 4, what was that, 4, 3, $5 so far.
Okay. Season's not over either.
Nope. It's my one cousin will go back up to do some bow hunting after Christmas. Probably he'll go up between Christmas and New Year's.
No muzzle loader?
Nah.
Okay. All right.
Anything from your camp?
Well, when I left camp, there was 6 doe down, and I came home Saturday afternoon after the opener. Opener was on a Wednesday, the 15th, so I came home, 16th, 17th. I come home on the 18th, had some stuff to take care of here at the house, and some other people came back up, I think, Wednesday before Thanksgiving. There's 2 families up there that have their traditional Thanksgiving dinners up there at camp.
Okay.
So, and then they typically go after, it's basically the doe hunt.
Yep.
Or if they haven't filled a buck tag and there's a buck there, they'll shoot a buck. But traditionally, that's when a lot of does get taken. But they only shot 2 more doe.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I take that back. 4 does. There's 4 more does. So we have a total of 10 doe down right now.
Was your projected number the same as last year?
It was more, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, last year our target was 25. We shot 24. We were looking at anywhere from 25 to 30 this year. And all we're trying to do is move in baby steps right now to get surrounding landowners kind of on board with harvesting doe. I'm sorry, killing doe. I don't know why that stuck in my head. We harvest corn.
Yes, we harvest
That's for
corn.
Chris Schnurr.
Yeah, that's a criticism.
Obviously there's people at our camp that aren't necessarily the most comfortable with shooting doe, and I respect that. It's like, that's fine. But the others step up and do what needs to be done, and we're trying to hit that number. Right now we're at 10, and we've got kids coming up from Indiana that I'm hosting, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, and David Boggs and his crew's coming up from Backwater Legacy. If you have, Backwater Legacy is, check it out, backwaterlegacy.com. Check that group out.
And that goes to, and with having David Boggs there, because he is the doe whisperer.
Mm-hmm. He is.
So hopefully you'll be able to take a few more.
Yeah.
You think it's the weather?
That's what I'm hearing. We've had a lot of discussions. I've had a few, and then our camp manager is really in contact with the surrounding landowners in the area.
Okay.
So I've had some contact with surrounding landowners. That's kind of what we think, because it's not just our camp; it's the whole area as a whole is not seeing a lot of movement. We're not seeing a lot of deer, even though we know they're there.
Right. Exactly.
You know, we've had our deer counts. We also see the browse, or the lack of any food sources there. And truthfully, you know, that might be part of the problem. The fact there's no natural browse to speak of really there, because they've decimated the last couple of years. And our fields are basically dirt right now.
Are lean.
Yeah, they've just totally cleaned everything up that we've had. So, you know, and Dan Anderson says that improvements on the property be rewarded soon. You know, I hope so, Dan. We've really worked hard at that. I think that the thing we need to do with improvement on the land, and we're going to hopefully have a lot of discussion about this coming into the spring, is I'm planning on attending a prescribed burn conference in February. It's a 2-day conference on prescribed burn. I want to learn about it. I'm not saying we're going to use it. I just want to learn about it and how that helps vegetation regen quicker. Also, you know, we're looking at planting trees. We want to get more natural browse on the property and try to. I'm almost wondering. You know, we've come out of the baiting scenario of the 80s and 90s. That mindset of bait. And it is what it is. I'm not, you know, there was competition. You get landowners, and it breeds competition between people. Well, hey, Joe he just brought in, you know, a little utility trailer full of carrots and sugar beets. Hey, Danny, come on, man. We got to go to town. We got to get us another load.
Let's go get a semi.
Yeah, well, that's the mindset, you know. I mean, that's kind of what happened in Michigan with private landowners. And it created this competition, and it really changed the dynamics of hunting. Well, you know, okay, so now up where we hunt, they've outlawed baiting back, I don't know, late 90s,
yes,
I think, or early 2000s. So all of a sudden, we switched gears. Okay, can't bait anymore, so, hey, we got these open areas. Let's plow them up. So let's start building the soil, trying to put in food plots. Okay, now we got that. They become dependent on that, along with the fact that when you start attracting more deer, well, if there's not enough food there, the food plots and the natural browse both go down.
Yes.
You know, and this is before we even thought about QDMA. This is before we even thought about shooting does. You know, this is back when my dad, you know, was, you know, and I were hunting a lot together, and it's like, don't shoot the does, that's shooting next year's bucks. That was that whole mindset. You know, in the last 10, 15 years now, we've started to see that change. You know, QDMA, the Proving Grounds, all these other deer, Whitetails Unlimited, started doing research and really getting the information out there, and it's really ramping up now.
Exactly. It's and we talked about this on previous shows. It's the educated hunter.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of where, you know, I've started really focusing my energies in the last 2 to 3 years, I guess. You know, Mossy Oak with their native nurseries, they've come out with the habitat, the plants that you plant back. After we do the logging that we've done, you know, and you start thinking about, well, what does a turkey need? What does a deer need? What is natural browse? What is not natural browse? I learned a lot last year by going to one of those workshops.
Absolutely.
And going out and actually getting into the field and doing a deer browse study and seeing, and it's like, once I saw that and went back to our camp, I was like, whoa.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, okay, now I see what they're talking about. And it starts to make sense. So how do we start making those changes? And like Dan said, you know, rewarding ourselves for the work we put in. It takes time.
And you know what? And it takes time. And look at that. Kevin Cravens is weeping the rewards there. Mm-hmm. He says the breakfast sausage are awesome as usual.
So when we having breakfast?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not. Kevin can bring us some breakfast sausage and cook them up for us in the cabin.
Maybe we need to have a cooking segment. We did that last year. We made a little
you know
summer
what?
Sausage.
We made summer sausage, and then you had the misfortune with the freezer.
No, don't even start talking about that.
So we couldn't make anything anymore.
Right.
So
I've got a grinder sitting over there in a box still.
Right,
that I bought last year that we haven't even broke out yet.
So I now have some meat that we can use to make some stuff.
Yeah, well, I need to add to the mix here. I'm going up in 2 weeks, so I'm hoping if I can put some dough down, or if I get fortunate enough to see a buck that's of shooting age, then you know, he may come home as well.
I'm telling you to rub the dough whisperer David Boggs' head.
Well, we'll see. We will see.
I'm just telling you.
You know, the more importantly, I mean, yes, I want deer. I want a deer to put in the freezer, but I want to make sure that these kids that come up,
and
are excited and have a good time.
That after going up there last year with you guys and seeing, because they are voted on their peers as to being rewarded to do this at the end of the year,
right?
And to see them get one or each get one or in that's the most important thing.
Yep, teaching them how we had our own little doe school there.
Yeah, you did.
Taught them, what to look for, and it's the whole education process of passing on what we know to other people. And it's not necessarily kids. It could be adults as well. We had some adults that we educated there as well. So, I'll tell you what, we're running up here on our first break. Let's take our first break. Come back. We'll continue the same discussion, and we'll move along with what we're talking about. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back, second segment of the show. Got a few more people chime in here asking about some Michigan deer seasons. We got muzzleloader season, we've got archery season. Our season, firearm season, wraps up, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. I think Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it would be Thursday.
And muzzleloader breaks down into zones. There's the UP, there's the northern half of the Lower Peninsula, and the southern half.
Right, and that's 2 weeks in December, and then
late archery, late doe hunt.
January 1, there's a late doe hunt, and then there's the urban hunt that goes till the end of January.
Yeah, and speaking, like talking about the urban hunt, that's the CWD zone. There was the Mount Calm County deer that was tested came back positive. I did see that. That happened this week or last week. That came back positive.
Yep.
And then recently that broke in the news here. It hasn't been 100% confirmed yet because the test hasn't came back from Iowa yet. I think they send those to Ames, Iowa, or maybe it's state of Michigan State University.
But either way, if the pictures that we've seen are true,
we got TB in the back door.
You're right.
In northern Oakland County, which is basically your back door.
Yeah, it is.
And it's really 5 miles from here. I mean, it's places where we've hunted before.
Right.
So, and actually, where that deer was taken is not. It's probably 5 to 10 miles from where we hunt. And I did see pictures of it. It came into our newsroom at the station, and we ran the story, but they didn't run the pictures, but they had them. I was like, you got them? And they're like, yeah. I said, I want to see them.
Right.
The deer was eat up with TB.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Pretty gnarly.
It was nasty. I've never seen one that I think that was that bad.
What would you do if you opened up your deer and you saw that?
Cry. I mean, I'd take it in.
Absolutely. Definitely take it in.
But
wouldn't that be like the shock of a lifetime?
Even though we hunt in the TB zone and I'm like bullseye.
You are bullseye.
I would be disappointed, disheartened. I don't know. I mean, it would really upset me because on all the years that we've hunted there, I've never personally shot a deer that had TB. I have heard that there's been other critters taken that have TB.
Okay.
Like predators and varmints and things of that nature. But I've never personally seen one come off of our place while I was up there hunting. So.
Yep. And matter of fact, we were talking in the last segment about property and what we were doing with it. My cousin Dennis, he's already planted over 300 oaks and 100 chestnuts. And added black walnuts. to the property. So,
Okay.
Like Kevin said, you'll spend more on cages to the trees, but you got to protect them.
Yes, absolutely, and we've talked about that at our camp. The cages that we're going to do, we're basically going to get 5 to 6 foot high fence, like what we call hog wire or chicken wire fence.
Yep.
And then take T-post stakes. You take 4 of them, and you basically put them around. So you got a 3 foot circle, 6 foot across diameter. Around your tree, that allows it to come up and start to grow out. And if the limbs do get out to the edges, I mean, by the time they get to 3 foot and up high enough to get that far, the tree's sustainable.
Yes.
And you let it grow up. And the beauty about that is once that tree is viable and gets up above the browse line, you pull the stakes up and the fence up, and you rotate it to the next planting.
Yep.
However many years down the road that is, but you start turning these over so you get to reuse your cages.
I want to put in. I'm going to try to get some, which typically isn't in our area, is fruit trees.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. Matter of fact, behind our cabin up north was some apple trees. Mm-hmm. So I know they can make it. I just don't know which ones, but definitely going to have to cage those up. Mm-hmm. And even Kevin says here, make sure to wrap the tree trunks because of the rabbits and the mice. Don't get the...
Yep. I'm trying to remember what we were told to use. There was a I think they take the plastic sleeves.
The tubes.
Tubes.
Plastic tubes.
To girdle them. But the issue was using them alone without a grow cage.
Oh, no.
Or a protection cage. What happens is they sprout, they come up, and those tubes are about this high. Well, what that happens is all of a sudden it becomes a snow cone for the deer to eat the top of the limbs and leaves when they come out.
I see what you say. It just comes out of the top and kind of...
and it provides a place for them to sit there and munch on. And everybody that we've seen use them in our area, the trees never make it. They just don't survive because of that, because of the heavy deer cover in the area. But they'll use them around there, and there's something else that they do around the base of the tree, and I can't remember what it is. But I'll have to get information on that and get back to you. But there is something they do to help with that problem. But using a T-post and 5 to 6 foot high chicken fence
and like
is what we typically use,
and especially with bear, especially with fruit trees.
Yeah,
I got to get them up old enough to.
That's been the issue that we've had at our place, is they just simply tear them down.
Right. So I that's my next spring's project. So we'll see where that goes.
Okay.
But looking at people on the live stream here, Kevin's asking, did I have my bucks aged? Yes, I had 2 of our 3 bucks aged. They came in at 2.5. Mine was probably 2.5 as well.
Okay.
There's one that I'm suspecting might be 3.5.
Okay.
But I'll find out because I'm going to get the jaws back.
Interesting you said 2.5, because that was the age class last year, the 1.5-year-olds that you said was missing.
No, it's now the 3 to 3. It's now the 3.5 that's missing according to the biologist.
Okay, it's been 2 years then.
Yep, it's been 2 years.
All right.
Matter of fact, that's Kelly's deer. When I get that back from the taxidermy, he's going to save me the jaw.
Okay.
And she's suspecting that actually might be a 3-year-old deer.
Okay.
But she's saying it's small because it might have made it. It just
didn't have the nutrition and had to struggle to get through the season.
Right.
So the nutrition wasn't there to build them up.
Yep.
The does, we had some of the does at our place aged. There was a 12, a 10, an 8, and a 7, and a 6-year-old. Those were 5 of the does that were taken age-wise. 12-year-old, 10-year-old.
Isn't that amazing?
6, 7, and 8. Yeah, those are some old doe. And that's part of the problem. And what do old doe breed? More does. We've seen it. The science proven time and time again that majority of the time when they throw twins off, they're twin doe fawns.
Yep.
So it just perpetuates the buck to doe ratio problem and compounds it. So
right, exactly. So, but it's some all this stuff happening around Thanksgiving time. So it's kind of thankful that we've got.
Hey, Luke Sitton, thanks for joining us, man. I see you just chimed in. Actually, we're going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about a package that I got here in the mail this week from his wife, who's an author. So we'll save that a little bit here for the next segment. But
okay. And a little tip from Kevin: the tubes are great to promote fast growth, but still cage them as well.
Right.
The negative to tubes is the trunks are not as strong. You may end up staking them.
Ah, okay.
So
right on. Yeah, so there's just no perfect way to keep animals from chewing on the trunks or eating the doggone leaves off of them. Depending on what you're planting. So
you're not growing them inside a greenhouse,
right?
So
it's
everything's open for discussion.
What I'm going to be interested to see with your cousin's planting the American chestnut, and depending on what oak and what was the other one, black walnut.
Yeah,
because you're in the UP, the growing seasons is harder up there, and it'd be interesting to see later down the road at the mast crop that those produce. Do you have black walnut in the area that do produce mast?
Black walnut?
I mean, those are pretty hard nuts for a deer to eat, I would assume.
Right, they are.
But
the squirrels love them, though.
Yeah, right on. I mean, you're planting them for other reasons, not just the
right,
deer. But.
Exactly. But the mast crops, typically we have the acorns from the oak trees, and it takes a while to get those there. So
yeah,
we'll definitely have some crops coming up off of our populars here.
Okay. Well, what I have heard is the American chestnuts don't grow well up here in northern climate. They don't produce the mast crop that they get down south because the growing season's just not long enough to get an abundance of mast out of those. So, but they have had great success in other places with the American chestnut coming back.
And that's kind of the catch with the fruit trees in the UP.
Yeah.
You're that furthest north zone equal to Minnesota, so you got to watch which ones you actually plant because
right.
I'm not growing for an orchard, so
right.
If it's crab apple, then it's crab apple.
I gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, we're getting close here to our next break. We're going to step outside. We'll take our next break. We come back. We'll talk about the books that I got in the mail this week.
Let's talk about the books.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
So what do you do when you've completely redefined the way bows are engineered? When you've reached the pinnacle and the band starts playing your victory song, you start a revolution out of thin air. Introducing the all-new PSE Carbon Air, engineered with true carbon technology to be the lightest high-performance bow in the world. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Third segment of the show. And before we went to break, talk about a package that I received in the mail this week that I ordered for my grandson for Christmas. No, don't worry. He's not going to get his Christmas spoiled because he's not watching the show. But it's from Whitetail Press. It's a Michigan company, or writer, author, Shasta Sitton, who writes these outdoor books for children. And we had the link on our Facebook page. These things are a great Christmas gift. You know, if you're looking for something for youngsters or something you can read to your youngsters or your grandkids and teach them about the outdoors, you know, the two books that I got are Wyatt. Is it
Wyatt's First Whitetail.
First Whitetail.
And Grace Goes Bow Hunting.
So we have a little boy and a little girl.
And reason I asked why Deb was on is because she's got two cousins.
Yeah.
Named Grace and Wyatt.
Oh, really? Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's bizarre. I'm going to tell you
cool.
that right now. That just I opened that up and I looked at these and Grace is going to go bow hunting here. It's just a simple book, and at the end of the book you can put your first deer in there.
Oh, okay.
And the back page. Look at the back page. You can place a picture of your first and write a story below.
Oh, all right. That is cool. See, I haven't even thumbed through these. But you know, I'm looking at the illustrations. They're done really nice, man. It's really cool, man. It takes them from the beginning of the hunt, going out with the grandpa, and you know, they got their hunter's orange on and sitting down waiting on deer and seeing other animals. And all of a sudden, here comes Mr. Buck. And Mr. Buck gets to go home. So,
and it says here about Grace. Grace goes bow hunting. Follow along with Grace as she goes on her first whitetail bow hunt with her parents. In this exciting journey, Grace's morals, hunting intelligence, and bow hunting skills are put to the test as she experiences firsthand what it takes to be a sportsman. And if you are a parent or a grandparent who wants to keep their tradition of hunting alive, this is the perfect book for you.
An enjoyable way for children to learn about hunting, respect, and the glories of being outside. And that's the same thing that's written on the back of this other book here. And the author, she has to sit, and she currently lives in northern Michigan with her husband and son. She grew up in Idaho and learned at an early age to love and appreciate everything the great outdoors has to offer, along with her husband. She is greatly looking forward to passing on the tradition of hunting to their young son. You can get these at
whitetailpress.com.
There you go. And these are Dr. Deer approved. Dr. James Kroll, who we've talked about on the show before.
A little quote there by Eva Shockey. This book incorporates hunting, family, wild game, and girl power. It doesn't get any better than that.
You know what? I mean, we need more books like this. And that's the reason we want to get the author on. We're going to have her on here talking about the books and where the inspiration came from and a little bit about her background and, and all that. So, and between now and the time we have her, I'm hoping we're going to make an arrangement maybe next week. I won't promise because we got to set it up, obviously. But we'll get her on the show and let her talk about the books and talk more about where you can get these. And like I said, they're a great Christmas gift. I ordered these one day, and I had them in less than a week.
Yeah, especially for everybody in Michigan. I think they're coming from Hillman, Michigan.
Yep, there you go. So, a great Michigan product, made in Michigan.
Absolutely.
And promotes hunting.
And you got to love it. The old back tags.
How long's it been since we've had those?
It's been a while.
You remember hunting with them, though, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I remember ours were small compared to the ones in Wisconsin.
I remember our older ones.
Were bigger, right?
Were bigger, but that was back before I started hunting because I remember my dad having the bigger ones.
Okay.
But when I started hunting, I don't know, I think you had to be 12 to small game hunt and bow hunt. And then at 14, you could rifle hunt. So... that was a couple moons ago. That had been back in the late 70s for me.
Excellent.
Into the early 80s. So.
And my brother says they're also on Amazon, those books.
Oh, right on. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate that, man.
But great way to get a gift for Christmas for the youngsters.
Yep.
Nothing like sitting around. Heck, twas the night before Christmas.
Yeah, 'twas the night before deer season, man.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. So it'd be good to get her on, talk to her.
Yep, absolutely.
Get her thoughts about it. And it's always good to put a voice with the books.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And I've met her husband and I've met her father-in-law. Great people, great spokespeople for the outdoors and advocates for the outdoors. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, good stuff. That's sharing. Sharing the outdoors with other people. What's better than that? I'm going to jump on a little bit of a soapbox right now.
You go right ahead.
I've seen a lot of this here lately, and frankly, it's starting to irritate me. People smacking other people around, talking bad about people not agreeing with people in the outdoors, and it doesn't. I've been called a jerk. I've been called.
This is all in 1 week.
A butt kiss and an idiot. All in 1 week by different people, not the same person.
You're doing good,
and it's just like, okay, wow, that's really nice because I don't answer a question the way somebody thinks I should, or maybe I don't answer a question in a timely enough manner. One person accused me of saying something that I didn't on a show back from March 17th of last year. Right. I was like, wow, where did that come from?
Or not responding quick enough about something, but not realizing that
I was in the deer blind.
We were in the deer blind.
The day that I took that, I was in the deer blind. And it's like, wow, okay, But basically, what I'm getting at is we have people out there. I've seen it time and time again. People will post a question, post a picture about something they shot. Or maybe something that, hey, what is this? Is this a shooter or not? And people just jump and pile on and attack.
or they ask a question because here's my take on it. They're asking the question because they don't know. Mm-hmm. They want to know what is this or what is that, and then they get called out. Well, if you got to ask that question, you're not a hunter. You're not this. You're not.
You shouldn't even be in the woods.
Right. Well, hold on.
You shouldn't have a bow in your hand. You shouldn't have a gun in your hand. You shouldn't have even be out there. What are you thinking? Are you crazy? And it's just like why do we continually bash people that maybe don't agree with either the way we do things? There's people that hunt in different ways than I do. You know what? I don't participate in that style of hunting because I just don't like it. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be done. I support that.
If it's a legal form, then go right ahead.
I support it. If it's legal, I support it all the way. But the point is just because I don't participate in it or because I don't see eye to eye with maybe a certain way or maybe a certain style of something, it doesn't mean that we can't get along. But why do you want to continually hammer people when they're asking a question or posting a picture? That's going to make people not want to participate in the outdoors.
There's nothing worse than you're trying to learn something, and we're always taught ask questions.
Mm-hmm. There's no dumb question.
There is no dumb question than no question.
The only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
Right. So here we are. We now have this day and age where you can actually ask, and you're getting ridiculed for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, really? Why then? Why should I even be on a forum or a social media platform? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go to the internet, type it in, and whatever I read there, I'm going to believe it.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's you know what? I'm not going to. It amazes me to watch when somebody posts something. Just watch the threads. Somebody gets a nice buck. They shot right, or unfortunately the young girl that shot that big UP bear got death threats.
Right.
That's the extreme.
That is the extreme. Yeah.
But we knew that was from probably outside
the hunting
group. People.
But when it comes within our own group,
when we start interfighting, and this goes back to what Mr. Waddell said, is got to know who the audience is.
Yeah.
And that is from the 5-year-old to the 95-year-old. We're all hunters.
Absolutely. And what really gets me, I mean, like I'm 52 years old. I've been working in the television industry 28 plus years. I'm still learning every day. There's things I learn every day that apply to my job, a new skill, or a new way of doing things, and I ask questions, and a lot of times I have to ask the younger people who are, really computer savvy, how'd you do that?
Right.
So think of that in the same way of people when you're at work and you're trying to learn something new. Why do you want to beat somebody up about asking a question?
We've seen
blows
that,
my mind.
And we've seen that when we've done our Cabela shows. I got a question. It's probably a dumb question.
No, it's not.
It's not. Just ask it.
Because you know what? I might not know the answer.
Exactly. And if we don't, we go try running through the store to find it out and figure it out.
So we all know.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then once we all know, life is good. But unfortunately, we're in this day and age. It's instantaneous. Mm-hmm. And you can sit there from the luxury of your couch to somebody who's actually out in the field doing something.
Keyboard warrior.
There you go. Keyboard warrior, exactly. And my cousin is right, Dennis. We should always help teach and mentor our kids and family members and friends how to hunt and not bash them. Yeah,
and anybody else who asks, if somebody asks your opinion on something, give them your opinion, but don't criticize the other side. You might not agree with it, but say, you know what? Okay, I understand that side. It's a legal way of doing things, or you know what? I understand you may not know that technique or what that means, whatever it is, and say, this is why I do it the way I do it. There's many ways of doing things, or there's many ways to find that out. Or, if it were me, this is what I'd do. But this is why I would do it.
Right.
Not, well, that's a dumb question. Why'd you ask that? No, you shouldn't have shot that. I mean, I personally wouldn't because of this, and this.
everybody's got different reasons for whatever they might be up to. They just. But it's amazing this day and age that we've come to this point where you get to that browbeating.
Yeah,
because you're not thinking like I am.
Right. Yeah. Or you ask a question knowing that you're going to get a reaction that's not going to be in line with what you believe, so that gives you the right to jump onto somebody. You're looking for a fight to just try to discredit somebody.
And a lot of those big buck pitchers that happen, whether it's a young or an old, or it's as you say, horn porn.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bash you for it.
Horn porn, antler envy. Yeah. I actually had this discussion with somebody in the industry this week. A nice hour-long discussion.
Right, exactly.
And that's all I'm going to say about that's as far as I'm going with it.
Exactly.
But it was a beautiful conversation.
It was. And it came down to also money, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, pretty much.
That's why we'll never say there's a dumb question.
Nope. Just the one you don't want to ask because you're afraid to ask it because you might be embarrassed.
When you get to the point now where you're afraid to ask a question because you're going to get beat up about it,
shame on them. Not shame on you for not asking it. Shame on the people that you're afraid to ask it to because of the way they act.
Correct. Absolutely.
So, all right. You want to take another break?
Let's take one.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
I shoot PSE because I like one pin to 40 yards.
I shoot PSE for the perfect combination of feel and performance.
I shoot PSE because you can shoot lighter poundage and increase arrow speed.
I shoot PSE for the fastest bows on the planet.
I shoot PSE because my livelihood depends on my bow.
I shoot PSE because better engineering makes a better bow.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE. I shoot PSE.
Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
All right, we're back.
We're back. Last segment of the show.
Last segment of the show. We've come through a long... Go ahead.
Did have a question from my brother.
Okay.
He wanted to know what the rules were about shooting a deer, but then the deer goes on to somebody else's property.
Okay, so we're hunting private land or state land that runs onto another piece of private property.
Right. The protocol is...
knock on the door. Call the landowner.
Go talk to the landowner, or you can also call the DNR officer, and they will go ask for you.
Yep.
Because if you're having issues with that landowner and things might not go well,
right?
A third party in this case would be and I've seen this happen actually. Now that I remember back, but you call the DNR, they'll go ask, say, hey,
yeah,
give the whole story. And it might even work out better that the DNR officer is there.
Yeah.
Because if this neighbor or whoever might be, landowner, gets irate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you've got a good relationship with your neighbor, in that relationship, and you've both agreed, hey, you know what, you guys, if you happen to hit a deer this year and it runs on my property, you know what, just give me a quick call, let me know you're coming on the property. That's even if they give you permission to say, hey, just come on over and get it. Don't even worry about it. Excuse me. I would still call and say, hey, I shot a deer. It ran on your property. I just want to let you know. I know you said it's okay to come get it, but I just want to let you know that I'm going to be on your property.
Right.
And I'm going to recover it. That's just the right thing to do. So that way there is no miscommunication or hard feelings. But if you've got a landowner that you don't agree with, that you can't get along with, Hey, DNR. Yeah, I shot a deer. It's on my neighbor's property. We really don't get along. I just wonder if you come over, knock on the door, and see if he'd let you recover it for me.
And heard about it in New York. That way you let the landowner know you're on his property, so you're not mistakenly getting shot.
That's true, too. Just like, what happened in New York.
A lady walking her dogs.
Got shot with a guy that was hunting with a pistol. And I've seen a lot of questions about that. And it was from not the non-hunting public, I'll say. What are you doing hunting with a pistol? Well, it's legal. If it's proper caliber, it's legal. It's a legal firearm to use to take deer. And that's just the way it is.
Right, exactly. But we've heard a couple stories.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a story where they were bow hunting elk. They mistook a bush moving for an elk, shot it.
Yep.
Luckily, the guy was shot in the arm, and it didn't hit the trunk of the person, which would have probably killed him.
Wasn't that person shot with a bow?
Yes.
Oh, my. Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that.
Yeah, the picture looks like it hurt.
I couldn't... I can only imagine what it would feel like to have an arrow run into your shoulder, and you're like, thanks, dude.
Right?
And it doesn't put you down.
Luckily, it didn't put him down.
And that's the reason. That's one thing. When I look at what I do with a bow, I got feelings for the animals I shoot at. I do. I don't want them to suffer. No. But, that's why I practice, because I don't want to drive one through their shoulder and then watch them go off, running through the woods and have an arrow sticking at them.
Right. Absolutely. That. But, so mistaken identity, identify your target.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, you call the DNR, and he goes over there, and the landowner's like, no, Danny ain't coming over here. He ain't getting that deer. He ain't touching that deer. The DNR goes, okay, thank you. The deer is now the property of the state of Michigan. We're going to confiscate it, and nobody gets it. They'll take it and take it to a processor.
They'll take it to a processor and
that's the way that works.
Donate it.
The landowner doesn't get to keep it.
Oh, no.
Because he didn't shoot it. He didn't, doesn't matter if he had a tag for it. He didn't shoot it.
Right.
So it gets confiscated at that point. At least that way and the meat gets used.
Yes.
So.
Definitely. But that was one of the questions.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Thanksgiving's over with. We've rolled into the weekend now. Looking back.
We're rolling out of the weekend just as fast.
Right. Rolling into 2018. Man, where'd time go? But, looking back, we always reflect back. What are we thankful for this time of year? Looking back for you, this last year, how was it, and what are you thankful for?
Oh, thankful for a ton of things. Thankful for our health. Family all at the end of the year is healthy. We had some issues during the year. We all stuck together, though. Built people up that needed to be supported.
Mm-hmm.
Did what we had to do as a family. Got it through it all. In the beginning of the year, and now towards the end of the year, my daughter got her first buck. I got 2. So I got, if you want to say, maybe I was rewarded for what we did at the beginning with my family. It was all good. Going into the end of the year, just hoping that the next year brings health.
Right on.
I'm tired of going to the doctor thing.
I hate the doctors. I mean, I like them when I'm sick and I need help, but I mean, I hate all that stuff. That's bad.
Especially when you go in all happy and he's like, well,
Yeah.
What do you mean? Look at me.
Yeah. I'm the perfect fit of health. Yeah. Lose some weight. Start exercising. Yada, yada, yada. So.
Right. And what about you?
It's been an interesting year. I had time to reflect in the deer blind because I didn't see a lot of deer.
Did you have a little time on your hands?
I had a lot of time on my hands. And it was a gut check for me. I mean, obviously thankful for my family, my kids, my job, my home that we're back into. Actually, this month will be this is 3 years. We've
3 years back
in the house. So, all those things, and we're all thankful for those types of things in our job, in your good health and all those things that go with just living life. But then when I look to what we're able to do and who we're able to reach out to people who actually spend time listening to you and me ramble on every Sunday night. And then listen to the podcast every week and download it and listen to it. It's really humbling.
It is.
To the fact that people I don't know if it's maybe entertainment that we provide or if there's information that we do give as well. I'm thankful to be able to have the voice to do that and to put that out there, and for people to be able to have trust in us to be able to give them advice and entertainment at times as well.
Right.
But when I was in the blind, I got to feeling a little sorry for myself. I was like, man, I put all this work in this year. I'm not seeing any deer. Spent, X amount of days out here, all these hours. And I really had 3 deer. Actually, I take that back. Only 3 deer that I really could have shot. Because 2 were within bow range. Only 2 deer this year. And they were both yearlings. And I was like, I'm not, just not going to do that. That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
Had a doe, second day of rifle season. I should have probably shot, but I didn't because I was waiting for a buck to come through. I was kind of biding my time. And things were going good that day, seeing deer. And season ran out. Didn't have another opportunity. And I was getting a little angry. But then I sat there and thought, I'm out here in nature, enjoying, this great place to be. And see all these great things. And I don't care what your belief is, but I'm going to say what God has given us to be able to sit out and enjoy. That's my belief. Okay? So I'm sitting out there. I'm able to partake in this. I can sit in the blind. I can watch game. I can watch the weather. I can watch trees, watch things grow. I can look at and see what things that we did and we changed on the property this year to make it better. While there's people in our own town, our own state and nation, and in the world that can enjoy that because either A, they're across the world fighting for our freedom.
Absolutely.
And they're stuck there. They want to be home.
They want to be home, and they're fighting for our they're fighting for our freedoms to do the hunting part, and they're also fighting for the other people that want to complain about what we have.
Right.
Which, by the way, they're fighting for you to be able to do that. And you're not being locked away because you're not thinking like you should be.
Yep.
Right? But it's just one of those things that they are not able to be home, but we can reach out to them.
Yep.
And we can thank them every time we see them come by.
And I do, man.
And we see a lot of them over here at Chesterfield because the base is...
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Air Force Base is right there.
Like, throw a stone, you could hit it.
Yeah.
But I've seen plenty of them in there. You thank them. If everything you can do to help them out. My cousin Brian, they went and... matter of fact, we were talking about this up at deer camp. Him and his wife went and packed... I don't want to say baskets of joy, but they were the boxes, gift boxes.
Right.
For, they got a battalion or whatever it was, and they were stuffing from candy to toiletries to books to anything to help them out.
Right.
And that's the things they need over there because they're sitting wherever they might be in harm's way.
Yeah.
And just sitting over there is in harm's way.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got those people. Then you've got the people who can't get up and get out because of maybe a health ailment, or maybe they don't have access because they're in a wheelchair, or they're in a hospital, or maybe they're out of work, and maybe they don't have the money to be able to get out and go hunting because they're scratching what little pennies they're getting to put food on the table and pay the bills, or maybe it's a kid who wants to go hunting but has nobody to take him.
Right.
He doesn't have a dad, uncle, or grandpa, or an aunt, or grandma, or a mom that's into hunting that can take him out there, or her out there. Don't want to forget the girls either. So there's so many situations of people that can't get access to get into the outdoors, and here I am sitting in the blind, complaining because I'm not seeing a deer. And it's like, whoa, It was kind of gut check time for me.
Absolutely.
So I'm thankful for being able just to get out.
But it's not over yet.
Oh no, it's not over.
You got the month of December.
Yeah, we're going to go up one more time, try to hit it hard and get out there and,
see what you can do.
See what we can do, and try to teach some kids about the outdoors. And, actually, the 4 kids that are coming up, they don't need to be taught about the outdoors. These kids know. They've been brought up through the Backwater Legacy program, and they're cadets. And, this is part of the reward for them being just great people. And actually, one of the kids that's coming up, I remember the first year I was down there, taught me a lot sitting and listening to him talk about his first deer he took.
Okay.
And it's just like, wow, you know, you feel about this big. And when you hear them kids talk about stuff like that and what it means to them, and it's just a sheer joy. So yeah, you know, I get to learn a lot from people who ask us questions.
You think?
You know, and I'm not going to go back on that whole rant, but it is. We all got a lot to be thankful for. And you know what? My challenge to you this year, to each one of you listening or watching right now, is get out and help somebody else get access to the outdoors, whether it be fishing, hunting, camping, trapping, backpacking, canoeing, horseback riding, whatever it is.
Disc golfing,
yeah, whatever it is, get somebody that doesn't have access, get them out.
But if you're Mike, make sure you take aspirin with you because you will be sore.
Yeah, the old shoulder is a little bit sore.
But get out there. We're coming into Christmas. Maybe that's the opportunity to you to buy somebody something that, if you can afford it, to buy somebody something that'll get them in the outdoors.
Yeah, buy them some gear,
a flashlight, something.
You know,
a butterfly net. I don't care.
Yeah, get them something to get them out there. Fishing rod.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. They got fishing rod combos for $15.
Exactly. There you go.
Give one to somebody. Get them fishing. One of the best things down here, downtown Fenton, I see during the summer is I'll see a couple times a week kids on their bikes, and they got their fishing pole in hand, and they're on their way downtown to the dam.
I see it all the time in Linden. Back when we when we had lost the house due to the fire, and we were out and we were living over there in that rental house. We thank God we were living in a decent place, and we were right on the river. You know, what a blessing. And the dam was right there. And I don't know how many times I've seen kids with their bicycles and a fishing pole and their tackle box hanging onto their handlebars, and you see them pedaling,
right?
And those things just flying, you know, going down there to fish.
They're going to go fishing that afternoon, morning, whatever it might be, and they're going to go their fish. And you know they're not going to catch world records.
No,
they're going to go have fun, catch potato chips, and have a blast.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Absolutely. And speaking of Christmas,
next week
we get to go make our Christmas list.
That's right. We're going to be at Chesterfield Cabela's on Saturday morning. So if you happen to be in the area and you see
us there,
just with Christmas hats running around the store acting like idiots, that's us. Come up and say hi.
And I think, I'm not 100% positive, but I think we might be able to get to talk to the big guy.
He's going to be there?
If I remember right, the conversation was that he would be there.
He might not like me, though.
He liked you last year, so...
Yeah, but I don't have a deer yet.
Well...
His reindeer may be on my list.
You're going to end up on that pole up in one of those taxidermy mounts, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be on the naughty list, but no, hopefully that'd be cool, man, if we get to see the big fella.
Absolutely. But we're going to make our list. We're going to check it twice. So that's next Saturday.
All right. Anything else going on?
You know what? No, we're heading into December. It's getting to be that Christmas crunch time, but...
I'm hoping next week. Grab the books one more time. Go check these out. We've got the links up, but Grace Goes Bow Hunting and Wyatt's First Whitetail by Shasta Sitton. You can get them on Amazon.com or whitetailpress.com. Great gifts for the kids, stocking stuffers for the kids for Christmas. Get them in time, order them up, and get them here, or get them to your house before Christmas. Great gifts. And, I think $20. $20. I got them both for $20 shipped to the house. When I ordered them, shipping was free at that time. Okay. I don't know if it still is, but that was the deal at the time. So, it's a great gift, great way to promote the outdoors. But we're going to try to get her on. Won't promise that it'll be next week, but we're going to try to get her on before Christmas.
Cool. And
along with that, we're saving it.
Yes.
The question and answer portion of Dr. Mahoney.
Yes.
That we've had on.
We heard the main part of the speech, but there was a 20-minute question and answer that we still have yet to air. But we're saving it to place it in the right spot.
It belongs with these books. That's all I'm going to say. The answer he gave to the question belongs with. This is an example of what we can do. So we'll leave it at that. Folks, we're going to chime out right now, and that'll do it for us this week. So, as we always say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Scent Vapor Hunting Scents,
Killer Food Plot Seeds, Attractants, and Supplements,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Antler Action,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal.